being disruptive and argumentative. But at least she's not doing it in the middle of Blue Water Shopping Centre like the woman we saw just before we came home.
You know, I'm just going to skip. I'm going to skip the intro and go straight into hi, James.
Hello.
Oh, well, good time. All right, before we get started, I'm going to ask you about what you were just talking about. But before we get started, just for anyone who's tuning in now, this is effectively the replacement for live chat. Which, if you might have seen, we went ahead to do live chat earlier, but the streaming was just, it wasn't working. I don't know what it was. Problem with like having problem with steady upload speed was not happening. Therefore, we had to cancel live stream. I will of course be objecting to the people who run this place, as I already did during the live stream, but we're not going to focus on that now. We're going to focus on trying to do everything we were. Now, me and James are here. We were going to have a conversation with live stream, so instead we're going to have it now. We're going to have a bit of fun. We're also going to be answering some of the things that I wanted to, including our cryptic clue quiz thing, which, by the way, I should point out, it was after clue number two came out, that I realised that I'd spelt the word cryptic wrong. And I doubled down and didn't change it back. So, hi James.
Hello, Mr. Cryptic, Mr. Triptych, Mr. Crypto, Mr. Crypt Keeper,
Mr. Crypto. Our crappy cryptic clues luckily do not cost you as much as failed cryptocurrency, but they will possibly cost you your sanity.
It was crapto.
Cryptocurrency. Oh, I like that. It's immature and yet I really like it. I wonder why. James, I've got you here partly because once I explained the concept behind that, if you haven't already seen it, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But also partly for a catch-up, as we haven't spoken for a while. So tell me about what happened in Blue Water first. Well, Blue Water, just by the way, is the local big shopping mall from where we both grew up.
Well, it's weird because it seems like every Sunday today in Blue Water Shopping Centre just seems to be, I don't know, like mating season, I suppose, for tarts in training, because it's just so many like youngish tween people all dressed up with nowhere to go, like ridiculously like tarty outfits and loads of makeup, but they're all like 5'4", you know, like it's really weird, and loads of people trying to like bum rush their way into the cinema without paying, and just generally being a nuisance. And
really?
Blue Water Shopping Centres, and it's a nightmare on Sundays. Yeah, I've had friends who, yeah, I've had friends working at the cinema, and for years they've been saying it's a nightmare working there on a Sunday. But so anyway, this had nothing to do with those sorts of people. But this one woman who was about twice as old as you and I, just in her dressing gown and slippers, with a couple of large shopping bags, just arguing with people. Right next to the concierge.
What about exactly?
So strange. I don't know. We couldn't really tell from where we were, but it was in a big, like, the thing is, it's where they usually have the displays and the exhibitions and things. So it felt like we were at a live performance art piece. It was so strange. Yeah.
I can kind of imagine it.
How to get in?
Imagine like Damien Hirst set this up or something. That's some way of making it feel cultured.
This country's gone to hell without you, Hal.
Well, I was going to say I'm going to sound like one of those boring old men when I say this, but I think we're both taking on this. It's kind of hard not to take on this tack that is like every time I hear about the UK. I guess that's the sort of thing that would have probably happened when I was there as well. But so I don't know if it's got worse, whether it's just being reminded of it. But I just think to myself, wow, it sounds really bad. I heard your missus say something then.
Welcome to Brexit Britain.
None of those nice old foreigners anymore. It's just the bloody English making a mess of things.
Yeah, the Europeans were keeping her in check.
Yes. We needed the kindly Europeans to keep us in check. I bet there is at least one Brexiteer on our channel watching this right now, unsubbing, like post haste. He better be joking. I'm kind of joking, and I'm kind of not. I don't know how much I qualify that. So, anyway, let me pour a beer. As this is a social
Let me
event.
peel an easy peeler orange.
Okay, guys, the next few seconds, this is how live chat this is. Next few seconds, you're going to watch us preparing our refreshments. Refreshment prepare, go!
Right, watch this. Right, okay. What he's doing isn't very entertaining, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this orange in the shape of an elephant. All right, check this out. Look. Right, here we go. Right, you go all the way around. Right, just like this. Just be very careful. Really careful. Right,
Healthy stuff
all
gone.
the way around. All right. Oh, I broke it. All right, wait a minute. This can be a small elephant.
What?
Right, you go all the way around.
Elephant?
Almost all the way around, and then you get the edges like this, right? You get the
Keep
freed
it
up
real.
edges, right? And there you go. Look, a little elephant. See?
That's not. It
You
looks
could-
like
you
it
could
looks
peel
like
your
a,
orange in the shape.
it looks like a little something, but
You could peel your orange in the shape of a little elephant. You see? Look. And where's the part that fell off? If you get the part that fell off, there you go. A little elephant. See?
it looks sad.
Ah,
It looks sad.
ah. Yeah. See?
We're gonna get so
Isn't that entertaining?
bad.
See?
We're gonna
You
get
can
so
peel your
bad.
orange. Peel your oranges, clementines, satsumas, all into the shape of a lovely little elephant.
Please don't do kids' parties, all right?
Ta-da! Yeah.
Crying children everywhere. Oh,
What, children don't like elephants? What?
sorry, just right now, sort of mentioning kids' parties and the use of the word "what," it reminds me of that Mitchell and Webb sketch. What?
Right.
The one where they're what is it? Sir Digby Chicken Caesar, and they're behind the wall waiting to go over, and he's complaining like, "What?" We're getting well off topic here for anyone who doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I am going to introduce the concept, because we're going to do a few of these. We're going to give the answers to our crappy cryptic clues, of which there was 5, I believe. And, someone's messaged me, and it went ding in the actual recording, because
I wonder who it is.
it's Lisa. No one else is going to know who that is.
Oh.
Yes. So, I don't know. I don't know what about. So, the crappy cryptic clue, I got the idea for this whilst I was drinking with a friend, and we were talking about, and James might know this, and maybe some of the English people know this, but this is a famous podcast. It was actually famous around a lot of the world. So, James will know the Ricky Gervais Show podcast that he did with Carl Pilkington. But that came from a radio show, which I believe you've also heard. But that radio show, there was lots of things on the radio show that didn't make it into the podcast, which was the podcast was effectively an edited version of the radio show. And one of them was that Carl Pilkington would do a cryptic clue for a band name, and it was often something so obscure that no one could possibly get it. So after having a drink with some friends, we came up with some Japanese ones of these, which I think were pretty appalling. We started off with some easy ones in there, but I'm gonna start by putting some of these on the screen so people can see it. Let's do the first one. So the idea is James obviously doesn't know a huge number of Japanese artists, but he knows a few. Now some of these I think he might be able to get, but don't worry, we're not going to rush through these. I'm going to put them on the screen, give it a few minutes, we'll have our conversation and just see if James can think of any of them as they come up. So let's get the first one I posted was, there we go. So the clue was, I read that they raided a drug den next door at 2 a.m. last night, but I had no idea until I read it in the paper this morning. You can take your time to think about that. Have you had any drug dens raided near you?
Drug dens raided. So, okay. So maybe it's got something to do with reported in the title, in their name. So about like, like found out or caught red-handed or caught red-handed with drugs or something.
I think the thing which makes this one so fun is that there's a lot of detail in there that doesn't really actually help you get the answer. It's much
pill thieves, pill stealers, medicine bandits.
I think you're reading too much into the narcotic side of this story. I read that they raided a drug den next door at 2 a.m. last night, but I had no idea until I read it in the paper this morning.
Early morning neighbours. Is neighbours in there? Next door. It's coming to an end, you know. Yeah.
I thought it already had actually. I thought it went to an end last year or something. I heard it was.
No, because it's mostly funded by the channel which broadcasts it in the UK.
Oh.
So because Channel 5 and their parent company Fremantle don't really want to afford to run it on TV anymore, that's most of the funding for the show in total going. So because it's not playing on British TV anymore, it can't be shown in Australia either. So
those Australians looking for handouts.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. So who was expecting to tune in for a lesson about the Australian soap opera Neighbours? You got one. I'm looking at the wrong camera. That's actually really funny.
I heard they drug den next door. Drug den. Okay.
I heard they raided a drug den next door at 2 a.m. last night. I'm going to be honest, the drug den's got nothing to do with it. It's more the second part which is important. At 2 a.m. last night, but I had no idea until I read it in the paper this morning.
I had no idea. So is that Discovery report? Discovery?
I'm just going to be honest, this is probably the most logical of any of these clues, which basically means that when you hear how bad this one is, it's going to give you an idea for where we're going with this.
Discovery, discoverers.
Someone got this right, actually.
Reporters.
Someone did get this one
reporting.
Right. Not reporting. I think you've heard of this band. I'd be pretty surprised if you haven't heard of this band. So maybe cross-reference some of your knowledge. I'd be really looking forward to seeing what people post in the chat.
Yeah. Oh man.
Someone did get it right, so I'm going to see who got it right. I'm going to look at our community, see who got it right.
Amazing. Wow. Man.
Why didn't I hear about it? Why didn't I know about it? It was next door. Why didn't I know about it?
You were ignorant, or you were distracted.
Distracted, ignorant.
Deaf, dumb, blind, mute. Distracted.
All right. Shall I give you the answer?
Go on then. What's the answer?
All right. So first of all, I want to just say, looking at the actual post now, the thank you to Loon who gave us the answer scandal. That was a decent answer, but that's not the answer. So it wasn't a scandal. But a big thank you to Joel who did get it right. The answer to this one is Silent Siren.
Oh, right. I see.
The pure level of disappointment there.
Okay. Wow, that is a really obscure level of clue. Yeah, that's a cryptic clue.
That's a crappy cryptic clue. That's a crappy cryptic clue. Yeah. Don't worry, they're only going to get significantly worse from here.
That's cryptic. Yeah.
That is a crap. Oh, I should have called them cryptic clues. Oh, I should have thought of that. So anyway, before we move on to the next one,
I am prepared to hear the next one.
Before we move on to that, though, I'm intrigued about what's been going on with your shop. Selling the imported wonders of the world as you do in Dartford, England. So busy. I've got so many people because a lot of the trading card games are really up now, like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. People just bring in cards for me to value every day, and usually it's dozens of them, and
the shop's getting more and more full with customers. So I've got like 8, 12 people in the shop, whereas normally I'd have like 2 or 3. And luckily, the amount of people coming in just to doss around is lower, but the people coming in to shop and need my attention and need my expertise is higher. So, yeah, I'm trying to value people's stuff, but I've got like 3 other people who want like help finding something, and then 2 other people who want to pay for something. So it is really, really busy. I mean, I'm taking like work home a lot now to just like to value trading cards and stuff. And now when people are bringing in, I'm telling them like, look, there's like a 1 week waiting like period before I even get started on your stuff.
Yeah.
At the moment.
I know that was always an issue.
I'm not bored. Let's put it that way.
Well, I knew that was what an issue you had, but this is the interesting thing, is that there's a lot of people out there who resell cards. I've even actually met a couple of people since being in Tokyo who do the same thing as you. They buy cards from Japan and resell them. But what I noticed, and I obviously didn't say this to them, is that their entire method of valuing them is nowhere near as on point as yours. Now, I won't explain in the chat what exactly it is, but there's something about your method that has much more real world application, whereas they're making what I can see now to be a rather fundamental error. And so it's one of those things. It's not like
a lot of people use the internet, so
it's not like a job that you can hand off to someone else, because this is something where you need to know how the resale is valued. But I noticed that there's a new Pokemon game on the Switch at the moment, which is being really heavily advertised here, like on the trains and everything. So I kind of figure that might be a driving force a little bit behind it. I imagine you get all the same Switch games there that we get here.
Well, the thing is about the Switch games,
Yeah.
the Japanese release of Pokemon Arceus came with a trading card, which the UK version didn't. So people have been importing the Japanese version, keeping the trading card, and then selling the game. The good thing is, internationally now, every copy of the game has English and Japanese on it. So someone sold in a Japanese copy of the game, a customer of mine bought it for themselves, and then they just went into the menu and changed it to English. So that's great,
That's pretty. Gone are the days when you'd get a game and it would just be in the language of the host nation from which it came. But all right, let's throw you clue number 2. I don't think you've heard of this band, but I think that you might be able to do something.
So I'm just watching a large bird fly overhead. There was like a cormorant or a heron or something flying over, and very distracting.
Clue number 2. Could you clean out your pockets? I keep finding plastic balls in the wash.
Go again?
Could you clean out your pockets? I keep finding plastic balls in the wash.
Keep finding plastic balls in the wash. Right. Pocket fluff. Clogged washing machine. Plastic balls. Bearings. Ball bearings?
They're metal, aren't they?
Some of them are. I think some of them are plastic.
Oh,
now.
Someone did get this right. I'll point out just
exfoliating.
Think plastic balls.
Ping pong balls.
Martin, by the way, Martin, interestingly, I think he kind of misunderstood the idea of the game. However, I will give him credit for the interesting answer. He mentioned Polka Dot Stingray, which has nothing to do, obviously, with the clue. However, he said they had a music video in a laundrette and one with a fake ninja. Now, I don't know what the fake ninja's got to do with this. The laundrette it's interesting that he evoked a laundrette, because although he got it wrong, he did get part of the answer when he mentioned about a laundrette. However, someone else did get this one right. So I don't think you're going to get the band name. I'm just really interested to see if you can work out what the Plastic Balls is about.
Yeah, so plastic balls. I only think of ping pong with plastic balls, or you've got those little plastic balls that go in exfoliating scrub, like soaps. There's ones that are illegal now.
Exfoliating laundrette. Oh, is that like the Tide
It's
Pod
like
things?
industrial.
So, no, they're not plastic, are
No, they usually put
they? Oh,
them in
they're
like
label.
the scrubs and stuff, like little shampoos and scrubs, and you know they don't. I don't think they make them anymore because they end up where they shouldn't be. Plastic balls. Huh.
What plastic balls can you think of,
Hmm.
James?
Huh?
What plastic balls can you think of?
Um. Ones that. Ones that trans people wear to as a like a like a prosthetic.
And we're banned.
Um. You know. Yeah, like a
I,
pre-op prosthetic.
I have no idea if you just made that up or if you know something that I didn't want to know.
No, they're a medical thing. Yeah, you know.
Plastic
So
balls. Well, this entire clue just took a
they may be
dark
plastic.
direction.
They may be silicon. Yeah.
Silicon seems more likely. I mean, plastic. Imagine making a clunking sound like if you had two ping pong balls together. Let's not pursue this one any
Knackers.
further. The funny thing is, the reason I'm asking this
Knackers,
is because
knackers.
you're probably the one person who I think would really be able to get this. It's like this is one that I think would be like right down your alley. So
Yeah.
not
Oh
prosthetic testicles.
no.
What plastic balls does James often like? What plastic balls does
Oh,
James?
what like Gachapon?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was referring
Gotcha.
to gacha balls, and Martin was right.
Capsule.
Martin was right about talking about the laundry. I don't think you've heard of this band. It's a band called Gatric Spin.
Oh, Gachic Spin. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I've heard of them. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, all right.
So credit
Very
to
good. Yeah.
credit to
all right,
Where
yeah.
the Dragons Roam, who said Gatric Spin ? Here's my logic: little plastic gacha balls from the machine spinning in the laundry machine might be a leap, though it's not a leap in this game, sir. You got it right. The answer is Gatric Spin. Yeah. I think that Where the Dragons Roam is the only person who not only got it right, but actually managed to work out my logic. I think that is the only person who actually managed to word back to me the logic of the question, making it very apparent just how messed up a lot of these are. Now, I should point out from this point on, I'm going to give you a little bit of credit because these get really insane.
I'm not getting that.
A lot of these are more to do with phonetics. A lot of these are very much about phonetics rather than actually what the meaning is of the sentences. I'm going to give you the next one because it's atrocious, and I think it's beautiful and I love it. The clue is, what? That Barbie said it was only 500 yen on the shelf.
That Barbie said it was only 500 yen on the shelf.
Yeah, you have heard of this band.
So, got like it mislabeled dolls.
Oh, so close! So close.
Oh no!
That's a really close one. Remember, we're looking for phonetics.
Yeah, Barbie.
Oh, wow. So
Phonetic. So I'm thinking, yeah. Oh, so
one
it's the
person
way the
got this
word
right.
sounds.
Yeah.
Oh, Barbie.
What? That Barbie said it was only 500 yen on the shelf. Beep. Beep.
I wonder which part I got, the dolls or the mislabeled or the Barbie part. I don't know, mislabeled or the doll part.
I'll give you it. Doll is part of it. There you go. Because these are so
Doll.
obscure and because so few people have
Well,
actually got
you
these
had
right.
because you had got Commodore,
Beep.
which is a
Beep.
Japanese band, isn't it? Commodore. They do electronic music, I think.
It's
Quite old.
not. It's not that. It's not that.
Oh. Pricey doll.
You're moving in the right direction. Beep, beep.
Price
Beep.
Dole price. Don't know.
So, when do you find out that the price was wrong?
At the till.
Mm-hmm.
Scan doll. Oh,
Scandal. Yes.
no. My brain.
Scan
Oh, my
doll.
God.
Scandal.
Scanned doll. Scanned doll.
That's basically where they're going from here on in. Just for anyone who didn't know,
Oh, dear.
there is a bonus one which was supposed to be just for live chat, and therefore it's only going to be for James because I never posted it on community as we were supposed to do it in the live chat. That will be the last
Right.
one. But yes, the remaining ones follow a similar formula to Scandal.
Shall I have one for you?
Oh, if you want to. Just before we do though,
Yeah, it's going to be so easy because you know it's the sort of thing that I'd come up with anyway. But shall I give you yours now?
just before you do, I want to give credit. Thank you to Tiny Hat who put in Doll's Box. That was a good guess. I thought some people might go for that. And Loon, he said, I still say Scandal. So he said Scandal to two of them. He was right this time. But I remember because he didn't explain what he was thinking. The reason why I thought maybe he didn't say Scandal because of Scandal. Maybe he said it because the price is scandalous. And I thought, that's a fault in the logic. So I don't know what your reasoning was, Loon, but you were right anyway. Thank you so much for that. Scandal. 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 All right, what's my one, James?
Right. I can't believe what those children are doing, but I'd probably be too afraid to try it myself.
I like this. I can't believe what those children are doing.
But I'd probably be too scared to try it for myself.
Children. What those children are doing.
Can't believe what those children are doing, but I'd probably be too scared to try it myself.
Something about Tide Pods.
Really? Okay. Maybe not. Let's see if so. Luckily, the chat can try and get it at the same time now, can't they?
That's true, actually. This is good. I like this.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm trying to think of bands that you probably would think of. That,
Yeah.
it's not the band who shall not be named.
No.
No, because that.
No.
I
I mean, it's pretty easy to come up with one for them, but people would guess it too
yeah.
easily. And it's not,
You could just talk about
Which we
Russian.
shouldn't
You could
do.
talk about Russian athletes, and that would answer that one. So.
Yeah.
So I like this because I don't actually know.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, no, I like this. I can't believe what those children are doing, but I'd be too scared to try it myself. I love to. I hope chat are getting this. So it makes me look like an absolute douche if everyone's getting it except for me. My brain is not working. So something about kids. About being young and dumb. Thinking about Tide Pods.
Not believing the thing with them.
So you're shocked, surprised.
Go on, chat.
Go on, chat. I'm trying to think.
Go on, chat.
What is the name of that band who I can't? There's it literally it's driving me crazy. I can't. There's a band whose name I'm trying to recall and I can't recall it. By the way, I'm just going to clear up. It's not baby metal because babies, not kids. No. And metal,
No.
kids doing metal these days. Oh, I'd be too scared to do metal now. It's not that. Why I cannot remember the name of the band who I want to remember, and because I think it might be something to do with them. But
You have to destroy the suspense now. It's been a while now. So it is kinky kids. Of course.
I don't know why you would be scared.
Good old
I don't know what you'd be scared
to try that.
to be kinky.
Depends how far their kinks go. doesn't
Yeah,
it,
so I
eh?
was about to say most kinky stuff is actually pretty grotesque. So, yeah, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So
Those
you're
kinky kid.
BDSM kids. Um, you could say, here's another one. Who's that guy hanging around the playground?
Okay. Well, I suppose you've got another one for me, have you?
Yeah, no, that was one. Who's that guy hanging around the playground?
Oh, that's easy. Come on.
Mr.
It's not even worth answering.
Mr.
That one.
Children, yeah, Mr. Children.
Yeah, I was going to come up with one for that. Yeah.
Okay, I think this is probably the most infuriating one. The one I'm about to give you now is probably the most infuriating
Oh,
one.
yeah.
All right. So the clue is, well, it's so similar though. They pollinate flowers, right? What do you mean it's called a wasp? It doesn't look different.
Bees similar.
Oh, you're really close. You're really close. You're really close.
Oh, there is this one that's got a bee in it, isn't it? Bee.
Oh my
bee,
god.
Bee style.
No. You're two people said bees and were
Bees.
wrong. It's not bees. It's
Oh, is it just bees?
no.
Yes.
It's not bees. It's like a bee. It's not a bee. It's like a bee. So it's
Burn.
what?
Like a bee. Wasp.
Okay, so we've already kind of said wasp was in the question, so it's not wasp.
Hornet.
What would you say? Something. It's kind of.
Hornet.
It's like a bee. It's kind of.
Bee-ish. Bish.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's bee-ish. Yeah.
Wow. I did not expect you to get that one.
Bee-ish. Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah.
Bee-ish.
Bee-ish.
Bish. Oh, I'm really happy you got that one because no one got that. Joel said bees after getting silent. Sorry, and Loon said bees. These are good, but remember, it's not a bee. It's like a bee. Oh. We can move on to the next one. The next one I think is really. I love this one. I think this one's brilliant, and it's just horrific in so many ways. This is another one of those very phonetic ones. Let's get the clue on the screen. You're going to love this. Here's the clue. Captain Kirk, your first officer's family are so boring.
Captain Kirk, your first officer. So that's Spock,
Yep.
I think. Was
Yep.
it Sulu? Who's the first officer?
I'm assuming it was Spock. I never actually checked that. I probably
I think
should
it
have
was
Googled
Spock.
it.
Yeah.
What?
So boring. Um. Oh man, it's like Spock is sending you to sleep. Spock is boring you. Spock is.
Let's clarify it again.
tiresome.
Captain Kirk, your first officer's family are so boring.
Okay. Spock's sad relatives. Spock's kin. Spock's kin.
No, but I like where you're going.
Sad kin.
This one is. I don't know if you've heard of this band, but I just.
Spock's sad fam. I don't know.
Spock's sad fam.
Fam.
Oh god.
Spock's tiresome brothers. I don't know.
This one is really bad, but I think it's also beautiful. I love it.
Boring Vulcans.
You're
Tiresome.
okay. So you're right to call his family Spocks. When you call them Spocks,
Yeah.
that's right. We're talking about the Spocks.
Spocks. Oh dear.
I'm going to put that bit on the screen. Spocks is definitely part of it.
Spocks.
Captain Kirk, your first officer's family are so boring.
Boring. Yeah, I'm trying to think for boring there. Spocks. A family. Spocks.
You've
I'm
already
thinking kin,
you've
but-
already covered family. Spocks covers the family. I've put Spocks on the screen.
Okay. Spocks.
They're really boring though.
They're yeah lame. Spocks lame.
No.
Spocks. Cousins. Sure. I need help. Go on.
You sure? Can you think of any word for boring? Just for like.
Boring.
That's
Tiresome. Lame. Drab.
close.
Drab. Tiresome. Drab. Grey. Lame. Just just.
Oh, it's
Dull. Spock's dull.
nearly. You got the words.
Spock's dull. Spark's dull. Spark's dull. Spark's dull. Stole Sparks. Stole Spock. Spock's dull. Sparks dull. Pig.
Dole Spocks.
Dole's box. Oh. Dole's box. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good lord.
Oh my god, that's some mental gymnastics there. I'm glad to say no one got that.
Dole's box. How do you come up with these? Good lord. Dole's box. Yeah.
You know what? Even if the community is looking at me like I'm an insane person, I'm enjoying playing this game with you, sir. Oh my god! So yes, Captain Kirk, your first officer's family are so boring. Dolsbox.
Dole's box. Yes. Oh dear.
All right, it's time for the last one.
Okay.
This-
How about another one from me? Because
yeah,
I mean,
okay.
if you know me, it's going to be so obvious. But if you know me, but Doctor, my parrot keeps throwing up. Doctor, my parrot keeps throwing up.
What? Oh my god! So something about sick, unwell. Oh dear, Jesus Christ.
Someone out there is going to get it really quick, to be honest. But oh well. Go on, people. Doctor, my parrot keeps throwing up.
Doctor, Mike. Okay, fine. I just feel like my brain is hitting a wall when it comes to this.
All right.
So I don't know where to start. I mean, you've got the doctor, you've got throwing up,
okay.
you've got the bird.
Yeah, you've got the parrot.
Parrot. So
It has to be a parrot. Yeah.
I think it's the fact that it
Parrot
repeats.
keeps throwing up.
Parrot? Is it because it's colourful, or is it because it repeats what you say?
Oh, okay, interesting.
Um,
It's a parrot, and it keeps throwing up. Help me, please, Doctor.
is this a phonetic one, or is this more about phonetics or meaning?
I guess on phonetics, yeah.
Okay.
I guess so. Yes, phonetic.
Parrot. Parrot. Puke. Parrot. Vomit. Parrot. Sick parrot. Parrot sick. Parrot sick. Something about parrot sick.
Find out, shall we?
Wait, parrot sick.
When the picture comes back.
Oh, when the picture
Huh?
comes back. Is it an X-ray?
Don't worry, yeah, I'm back.
Are you X? Oh, right. Okay. I thought you meant the picture of the parrot. I was saying like X-ray parrot or something.
Oh no, that's fine. No. No, you went blank for a moment. So.
Parrot sick.
Oh.
Parrot sick. Okay, you responded to parrot sick. So
Sort of, yeah. What's a common name for a parrot?
Polysix. Polysix.
Yeah, there you go.
Polysix was the band I was trying to think of earlier, so I'm glad you. I was like, what's the name of the band with the keyboards and everything? I was like, I'm sure they're one of the ones that James would reference. I was like, who are they? Polysix. Thank you for reminding me. Oh man, I like Polysix. That's a good one. Oh dear. So, we're now.
Ollie's like, no more crackers. No more.
No more cracker. No more cracker. Racist. So we're going to jump in now with the special just for the stream one. This is phonetic one is probably the worst one imaginable. Let's get that clue on the screen. So the clue is we should never allow Dominic to make fizzy soda again.
This isn't like Dick and Dom in the bungalow, is it? This isn't like that Dominic.
I don't really know. There's no dicks in this, I'm afraid. But I really don't know anything about Dick and Dom in the bungalow, except I have heard it was very popular. We should never allow Dominic
again
to make his fizzy soda again.
Something to do with pop, I guess.
Oh, that's interesting. No.
Dom's bad pop.
Well, pop's not in it, but that's an interesting.
Okay.
But you're otherwise
Cola.
You're thinking,
Dom's.
I kept it.
Dom's bad cola.
I kept it ambiguous for a reason. What the drink is. We should never allow Dominic to make his fizzy soda again.
Wow. Oh wow. Prohibited Fanta.
Oh.
Dom's prohibited Fanta.
It's totally wrong, but at the same time, you've got all the right things going on there.
Dom's banned Fanta.
Or
no. Dom's banned Fanta. Dom's banned. Is it Fanta? Is Fanta the right one?
no, but it's not a.
Dom's banned lemonade.
Oh, you're so close.
Damn it.
Oh my god.
Dom's banned. It can't be soda again because that's in the clue.
Yeah.
Dom's banned fizz. Banned. Wag. It's not Wagaki banned.
No.
Because that's got nothing to do with it.
It sounds so bad.
Oh, I've got a feeling band is in there.
Yeah.
Band is in there. Well, how many bands do I know with the word band in the title?
I can't wait.
It's not band made.
Kind of.
Sort of.
Band.
But Dom's not in there.
Band Domade.
Band Dom made.
That's how you write it in katakana. Bandomade.
Bandomade. Oh, right. Okay. All right. Damn you, katakana.
Bandomade.
With your lack of what is it? Like ending vowels. Was it with your need for a vowel at the end of everything? Apart from N.
Oh god, yeah. Apart from N, yeah. Bandomade.
Yeah. It's the only consonant which can be like expressly ended is N in Japanese.
Well, the funny thing is that I got so used to every time Like when I have to do like the tags behind videos, if it's a band-made one and I do the katakana, if I do it on my phone, you just select the hiragana or whatever, and then you do the translation. But if you do it on the computer, you have to type in bando meido, enter, and then or space, and then go through and select the katakana from there. So you actually have to type the phonetic katakana.
Yeah, I have to do that
Bando
sometimes as well when you're
meido.
typing in. Like you want to katakana-ize something, you've really got to put all the like separate sounds in to write it. If you
Yeah.
want to search for, say, for instance, Bandmade, and try to type in katakana or whatever, you don't write Bandmade as you would in English. You have to put ba, do, ma, I, do.
Yeah.
You can't just write it. You can't just write it. No, it's difficult. One thing that really irritates me is that they really should introduce like 1010s for R's to disassociate them from L's, to separate L's and R's for people who are trying to type in Japanese. They really should. I mean, there's no 1010 for R's already, so just add them for L's, for crying out loud.
Do you mean like a katakana version? Because
when you do katakana.
there's no reason, because of the fact that obviously you don't really have the different. Because the idea is you're translating it into Japanese, and if you're translating it in Japanese, you are saying, well, look, we're bringing the sounds together. So why differentiate them anymore?
Yeah, exactly. But in katakana, there is a difference, and it makes it really. Do you have to play some sort of guessing game?
Well,
okay.
I get your point. I would probably argue that if anything, it's easier not to do that, because the idea that L and R basically just mean the same thing is, if anything, it's easier. You don't have to think about differentiating them at all. Just you've got one answer for two questions, and it's always right.
It's like light and right are two different words, but you write them the same in katakana.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So go right at the corner. Go light at the corner. What is this? Oh, it's like Death. Like, for instance, Death Note, a really popular anime. Like the character's name is Light. It's Light Yagami. So, and the thing is, because like super fans were really like holding on to the katakana like version, they'd actually type the name, even though he's named after Light. His name is Light Yagami. But then you've got like people who have read the katakana-ized version of the name, and they're writing it down in message boards, calling him Raito.
Well,
like Raito. You're like, his name is Light. He's named after the light thing.
I just want to put something in there, because I have come across something like this, and obviously no disrespect to anyone who's doing it by mistake, but I want to posit a question to you. And this might actually therefore justify what you were saying before. Is that character's name, it's written in katakana, right? Not hiragana or kanji, it's written in katakana.
Katakana, because the thing is, when he explains, because names and how to write them are very important in this series. So he'll say like, when you write it in kanji, it's using this character and this character. But a lot of the time, they're like, oh, it's just light, and then that's why people, like, back before it had an English dub and everything, people were like, oh, it's Raito Yagami.
Okay, so just to answer that, I mean, the thing is that therefore I would say either it's accidental or willing ignorance on the part of the people who've done that, and I'll tell you for why. Because if you were to write the name right, specifically in katakana, the suggestion is almost that it must come from a source that is not supported by normal Japanese. If you see ra in katakana, you're more inclined to think la than ra, because otherwise why write it in katakana at all? Yes, okay, of course you could be writing the word right. That's absolutely fine, and that would still be the same. And this is where maybe your 1010 reference would come in, more for reverse translation rather than translating into Japanese, translating back into English. But I think the mere fact that it's written in katakana makes la more plausible than ra.
Yeah. It depends what you're reading, though. Like, for instance, I've got a very slow katakana reading speed. So whenever I'm reading anything in katakana, I'm like, you have to follow every sound as it comes, because often there are no spaces to separate the words. So you're like, no, that doesn't make sense. All right, let's try this one. All right, okay. And then you've got the B's and the V's. So you're like, okay, let's try this one. Okay, no, that doesn't work. Okay, and if it's got a V and an L or a B and an R, God help you, right? Because you're sitting there, you feel like you're trying to play Sudoku or Wordle or something. You're sitting there playing a puzzle game whenever you're trying to read katakana, like especially if it's a word that you don't know what it says yet. You know, when you're sitting there trying to sound it out, like I do all the time, you're like, oh man, this is difficult.
You're frozen in a wonderful pose for there for a second.
Oh.
But you're like, anyway. But I would say I agree. I mean, my reading now, as I think most people from chat know, my reading has now become much better than, like, my listening is now pretty good. I can understand most things I hear. My reading is, I would say, quite quick for the best part. My speaking is pretty atrocious, which is why I've been like cramming a lot of vocabulary tapes recently, because I was like, look, I know the structure, I know basically how the language goes together, so I just need to get vocabulary so I can get ahead of this all. But definitely the written word I understand more than pretty much anything else at this point. And I would say if you're doing katakana, the trick is, I mean, really understand what the sounds are. Don't mispronounce them, because if you, and I'm guilty of that, but if you mispronounce them, then it becomes very hard to know. So really understand how the sounds work, and then try to say it quickly in your head, because you tend to find that so many of the sounds in katakana are really fast. I mean, there's usually something to tell you if you should slow down, like an extension on a sound, or if you get a little tip, which is basically almost like a reset for your mouth shape. You know, other than that, the sounds are supposed to be delivered as a quick stream of phonetics. So kind of if you read it too slowly, then it can be really difficult. But that means you have to go through, plan each sound you're going to say, and then read it quickly. So yeah, I appreciate it. It's not easy, but it's rewarding though. I mean, as you know, as I've seen when you were here, when you get it right, when you're learning it and you get it right, it's really rewarding. You're like, got it. I know what that is now. Frozen James. Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit frozen. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I can now. Yeah.
We're talking about how rewarding
You were
Japanese can
you
be.
sounded. See, you were coming across sounding like the way I read katakana.
Like that, but with
Yeah.
more consonants.
See, that's when we're back to filming together in Japan. We're gonna have to do a series of James tries to read katakana. We find as many katakana signs as we can find, and I try to work out what it is.
And put like a timer on
who's
it
that
as well.
Pokemon? What's that katakana with James?
Put a little timer at the corner of the screen.
Can you work it out in under 2 minutes?
Quickest words for James. It's like, I would enjoy that. I'd just give you a menu and then you go nuts.
So I think that's definitely a series we have to make when I'm there next. Is what's that katakana? Yeah.
James versus katakana is something I'm 100% for.
The 1 minute katakana challenge. Can he read a sign that's written in his own language?
Yeah, because that's the thing, isn't it? Effectively, there's a good chance that it is actually English if it's in katakana.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm 100% there for that. I would enjoy that greatly. But yeah, I think that overall, because obviously I was in Nagano for quite a while, and there was not a huge number of people who spoke Japanese really there. So although I was in Japan, I think I told you at the time, there was a weird thing. I was experiencing certain things about Japan, but I didn't feel like I was particularly in the Japan that... I wasn't in Japan as I had envisaged it. It was like experiencing something different about Japan, but not really the Japan that I had come here for. And you know, I love going out to the countryside, but there was something very weird about being stuck in a part of the countryside. It was kind of like a lot of the things that were most negative for me. I mean, I like the countryside, but I prefer the city. I am okay with places that are a bit commercialized, like Shibuya, but I'd rather be somewhere that's more natural. And this was like commercialized countryside. This was like a ski resort zone. Um, and the problem is that as a result, I wasn't learning Japanese. I do genuinely believe my Japanese got quite a bit worse when I was in Hakuba and Nagano. But as mentioned, I came back and I've been cramming these really cool vocabulary videos. I got one, basically got the free ones for practicing 100 most common verbs, adjectives, and nouns. I just play them. I listen for each one of those through every day. So they're like 15-minute each, so I spend 45 minutes roughly listening to them. And then there was this fantastic video that if anyone wants, I'll try and link it. It's a 35-minute video, so it's a little bit long, but it was by a Japanese woman who seems she just does like sort of very simple educational Japanese learning videos. And she did a really good video on conjugating Japanese verbs, which was just brilliant. I'd never heard anyone explain it as well as she did. And I put all of that together, and I'm really sort of working on improving my Japanese as quickly as I can. For various reasons that people who follow this channel will know in the coming months. But yeah, so I've been working my arse off on that and really working to improve my Japanese. And, you know, I've had moments where my Japanese has improved and then plateaued, but I would say the last month is the most dramatically my Japanese has improved since I've been here, or basically ever. And I'm getting myself in regular conversations with people. I'm talking to Japanese people. And I think sometimes the best thing you can do is just cram really heavily. So, my favorite one was like for like because anyone knows you do memory, you have to do association, and you did this with it's not kanji, was it with hiragana? No, katakana. You did it where you imagine the picture to go with the thing.
Yeah, using like some sort of association can be really useful, especially when it's memorable, like a memorable association. Yeah, that can be very good. There are some that really stick with you because it's so stupid or it really works. But even then, no matter how memorable it is, you still need to revise. You know, I do need to revise again and again and again. And, you know, it's a shame that I haven't made time to practice again recently, but some of them are really easy to stick with you. Yeah,
I tend to find
once you've done that, you know.
I tend to find for me the absurd ones work. Like for example, Kumamoto, which is cloud. I imagine Kumamon riding a motorbike across the sky. Kumamoto, easy. You visage that, and then that's not an image that you're going to forget quickly. I tend to find if you're trying to make some sort of absurd reference in your brain, it sticks really well. So I've got like really absurd references for loads of Japanese words, which probably again fed into this game that we played today. I've been doing too many phonetic leaps of faith with language. So yeah, no, that's been really cool. And I am just going to move us onto the subject. So we're coming up to an hour, and I know you haven't got forever, and I don't want to keep you forever. So we'll wrap this one up in the relatively near future, but next month. But I just wanted to ask you about it. So obviously, there's a lot of things between the chances of people getting into Japan. I mean, I know you had flights booked to come here last April, and putting them off, and the disadvantages of waiting.
Yeah, they're still booked. They're booked for April.
This year?
17th of April, they're booked for.
That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
If they're gonna if those particular flights, because that's a plan for a 4-week trip. So if that has to be postponed, we'll postpone that flight until the same time next year.
And then book another one as and when. Because
that's the big 4-week trip where it's going to be. Yeah, exactly. So that's me and Lindsay going on holiday.
Yeah.
And that'll be 1 week in Osaka. And then I'll wait until I've come back. There we go.
We can hear you
That's
even when you're
1
frozen,
week
by the
in
way.
Osaka because yes, when we travelled around a couple of years ago, we stayed for 2 nights in Osaka, which was unusual for our trip because we were just spending 1 night everywhere and just moving around. So we quite enjoyed Osaka. So next time our flight is supposed to go straight there.
Yeah,
So
I remember.
we want to spend 1 week in Osaka. And another reason that's good is because the Kaikatsu Club, the internet cafe, has laundry, which is quite unusual for those. Even though we could get a Airbnb, we might for a couple of nights. But in general, the manga cafe has everything we need. But anyway, 1 week in Osaka, then 2 weeks of traveling around on a rail pass. I'm hoping that we can get to Sapporo and back, and then 1 week in Tokyo.
Well,
So that's the plan.
one of the things I'm hoping to do, and unfortunately, it always seems when I have a good idea, it tends to be that someone on YouTube, someone who admittedly is more industrious than myself, manages to post a viral video about it just as I'm planning it. I was talking to a friend about a month ago who's terrified of flying, and had gone to Sapporo for business, and they drove there, but they were like, I'm not looking forward to the drive back. I said, I'm pretty sure you can get a boat back, because they lived near to Niigata, so you can get a boat back from Sapporo to Niigata, and they did it. I was like, okay. And then I had a look, and there's a boat that goes from not far from Tokyo, and just sort of north of Chiba. Sorry, I can't remember, Ibaraki, I think. And it goes from there again to pretty close to Sapporo. And so I was thinking, I'm going to Sapporo in April, for anyone who didn't know. And I was thinking about getting the ship up there. That might be one worth considering. They're not overly expensive, to be honest, considering the experience is probably an interesting one. So I'll probably report back to that if I do it. Report back on that if I do it. But your plan sounds like really good, and this is why I think it'd be nice. However, a lot of the people here, we've been enjoying the fact that, no offense, enjoying the fact that there's been no one from outside has been going around. So I had that trip to Kyoto, not last December, but the December before, December 2020, which was amazing. Like going to all the famous places and they're just empty. And anyone who knows Kyoto
It would have
knows
been
the big problem with Kyoto is it's full.
It would have been a really good time. It would have been a really good time to produce and sell stock footage of these locations with no one around.
Yeah.
You could have made good scratch on making, on taking some time-lapse photography or whatever of these locations, and then right, I'm going to sell it to some stock footage companies. That would have been good.
If I had like the 4K equipment, I think most of my stuff is, I could have got some decent stuff, I guess, but yeah. But yeah, no, it was a really interesting experience, and that is my only concern about you coming here afterwards. So I get the feeling that everything's going to be much more insane than even usual. So I think the idea of putting back your 4 week trip to just whenever the appropriate April is probably good, because if things opened up in the autumn of this year, that means that at least most people will have tired themselves out visiting here instantly, and it'll be a bit more quiet when you choose to step off the plane.
Yeah, well, that's just for that trip, because that's the cherry blossom going around, trip and going around and visiting places. Yeah. So, but if anything else comes up for tourism, then I'm going straight away.
Yeah.
So, just keep that in mind. So as soon as they let people come in, like tourism, I've got all 3 of my jabs done, so I'm fully done. I'm fully dosed.
Oh, you're on 3. Are you? I'm on 2, awaiting the 3rd.
Yeah, I got my booster. Yeah, but so I'm fully vaxxed and everything, so I shouldn't have any restrictions from a tourism point of view.
No.
And I can just pay someone to run the shop, or I can close the shop or whatever. But yeah, as soon as it's possible.
Sorry,
I think the manga cafes are still open. So,
They've reopened.
but then again, wherever you're staying, I can just
Yeah, exactly. I'd suggest you come and
book
stay with me.
something similar, can't I?
Or
That's easy.
you could just stay with me if you wanted.
So,
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you've stayed with me before. You've stayed in a small room with me before. You can deal with that. I was going to ask,
Yeah.
Does our mutual friend and comic book aficionado Daz still work for you in a capacity by which he could take over the shop while you were away?
not in any capacity. No, he works at Ocado Warehouse.
I heard.
So he works with
I heard he's getting
groceries
married
and
soon.
robots.
I heard he's getting
So
married.
yeah, he works with groceries and robots.
Groceries and robots. Does he have to pee in a bottle?
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope he doesn't have to pee in a bottle.
He's not, don't worry. He's not marrying a grocery carrying robot. So that's fine.
I love you, Daz. Please bring me something from aisle
Yeah.
73. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what's going on here.
Exactly.
So, all right.
I love you.
Oh yes, you could do the computer voice. Do it. Go on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love you. Here are your carrots. I brought here your slippers and your newspaper.
It's like a much more dystopian version of Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, ale, chook.
So
I can't do it as well as I used to. The long-term effects of this sickness has really damaged my throat. I think it's going to take a while for my throat to fully recover. It's one of those. I can't really whisper anymore, and I can't really.
what sickness did you have? The vid? Did you have the vid?
Well, everyone has to get it, don't they? That's the
Yeah.
whole point of the whole thing.
But I mean,
So,
did you have
I
it in a
probably
way
got it
that
at some point,
affected you? Did you have it in a way that affected you, knowingly?
I've been very sick. I've been very ill a couple of times, like during lockdown and stuff. So
There is that big question: have you been ill in
Yeah,
the
could've been
last
good for
2
us.
years? It's kind of hard for anyone to say no to that. Have you been ill in the last 2 years?
exactly, yeah.
So what we're going
But
to do?
of course, there's a stigma attached to it. I mean, obviously, it's a pandemic and everyone's supposed to get it. But that's one of the big things about it in Japan is that you're not supposed to say, "Oh, I've got it" or "Oh, I've had it," even though the point is it's supposed to be going around.
Well,
So
there
that's
was.
that's one of the things I read about societally in Japan. That's one of those big things is there's a stigma to having it and there's a stigma to catching it, and it's like, well, the whole point, people are supposed to get it, but you're made to be like a bad guy. You're seen as a bad guy for having it,
I actually.
and then your colleague and your employer and everything.
I think there must be some level on which that's true, but I don't believe on an interpersonal level that is true here.
Yeah.
I have not come across that.
But they get upset at you. Your employer and your employer and your co-workers kind of get upset at you.
But-
They blame you for getting
But
it.
the issue is more that because the restrictions here are so strong, that as a result, if one person gets it, it really kind of inconveniences everyone else. So I don't know if it's necessarily that so much as it's just like, oh, for God's sake, all right, someone's got it. Now we all have to work from home, or we have to do this. We have to do
Exactly.
that.
And then,
But
of course, they get upset at you for it. And it's like,
but I think I don't think that's like people are upset at you. It's just kind of more a case of, I mean, again, in an office environment, people as a general are dicks. I mean, office environments are crappy because everyone just takes everyone at a very sort of avatar level. And that's not unique to Japan. That's true of everywhere. People treat everyone else like an avatar of very simple facts they know about them. So I think that would be true in any place if you had the restrictions as strong as they are in Japan.
true. But of course, they get mad at you for taking your holiday in Japan as well. Though it's like, can I have my 1 week off next month?
That's just again, that's a stereotype that I don't come across a lot of these stereotypes that people have said. And I know a lot of people might say, okay, well, Howard, that's because you work contract. But I know a lot of Japanese people who have every right to bitch with me about
things
things
on the
they
company
go
you
through.
work for.
I think as well.
I think that depends how hierarchical it is, or how old-fashioned they are. I guess.
I agree, and I think, and one thing I'd say, I think it's worse for women. I think women, as a general, get a more hard time here if they want to do something like that. They get a bit more. That is true. you know, I don't like to play the whole sexism card on these things and just say, oh, you know, women get hard times in general. There are some things that are great for women here, but as a general, I think when it comes to employment, women do get a harder time and that kind of thing. But I think a lot of this is actually perpetuated. I'm not saying there aren't problems here. There are problems here, but I think a lot of this, just Japan is really bad, employers are crappy, that kind of thing, is perpetuated a lot. I think by the number of these really annoying YouTube videos you keep on seeing links for. Reasons to not work in Japan. I worked in Japan and regretted it forever. Blah 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 blah. And half the time it's stuff where you just go, okay, are you just saying that because you really hate that it's not? I was helping a friend of mine who's in university here, and he's studying social things, the difference between social things between Japan and the West. And we kind of were just sitting down over coffee talking about a few subjects for a few hours. And one of the subjects that came up was the idea of what you are to your employer. And so in the West, the employer has to treat you as a human being, an individual who works for the company, which in a lot of ways is good, but does also lead to a lot of people taking the piss. Whereas in Japan, you are seen as, well, when you come to work, you are a tool of your company. You are here to be used as a tool of the company. Obviously, your human rights shouldn't be infringed, but basically you're here to be utilized by the company for your worth to the company. And then you go home, which is why I think the Japanese as a general are much more good at utilizing their free time. The sort of Japanese are much more expressive of their enjoyments in their free time. Otakus are much more out there about their otakuness. Karaoke people go to karaoke and they really hammer out their songs. They let it all out. I think Japanese people are better at utilizing their free time because they understand the juxtaposition. They're not always trying to make the most of it. Which of those systems is better is up to you, but I just think that there tends to be a lot of negative stereotypes about working in Japan that are based on people saying, well, Japan doesn't treat me the way I want to be treated. It's like, well, yeah, but Japan also gives you more things to do in your free time, and it gives you more surplus income. So you're giving up one thing to take something back. So I think that there's a lot of negative stereotypes about working in Japan. Yeah, I'm sure there are terrible examples that can be well said, but I just, that's... Sorry, I had to chip on that because I haven't really talked about that much.
That's all right.
But I think it is something that I really do notice.
Yeah, it's like when
what did
people
she
say...
do? What did she do to get that look?
Oh, there was some... we're watching those... in the background, I've got this channel, and he just takes his camera and he walks around Japanese neighborhoods, and he goes on walks and stuff. It's Rambalak, this one. But he was walking around this little place in Ibaraki Prefecture, and there's these two bin bags on the side of the road next to a playground, and it's like, no, they shouldn't be there. But but sometimes, people they mention that, crime is lower, street crime and things like that is safer on the streets in Japan, in Tokyo. And then someone will be like, no, it isn't. A person was rude to me once. They'll take one instance of something that happened to them or someone they know, and then they'll say it to completely discredit the whole point. And it's like, you do realise that the fact it only happened once or twice to you in the space of a year says volumes, right? Because you can go out on any Friday night, in London or where you live, and see all sorts of horrible things happening to people, and you see it happen once or twice, and you go, it's dangerous. Actually, it's as dangerous as LA or London or whatever. You're like, no, because you've remembered an outlier. And it's so strange. But also, in the same vein, people expect what was Japan like that you didn't expect? And someone says, there were people who were rude to me on a train, and there were people who weren't helpful on the streets. And it's like, yeah, because they're not a hive mind.
They're not a service.
They're not machines. These people, there are people out there who have their own opinions and ideas and personalities. Rude people do exist in Japanese society. People are individuals. It's like, well, but you didn't notice that on the whole, people are generally politer, and but oh, but rude people exist. It's like, yeah, they're people.
I mean,
It's like saying, oh, I met a Japanese person who had a bad opinion of something. You're like, yeah, you met a person.
I think,
You know, not everyone thinks the same.
I think, like,
But that's one thing that always strikes me is that people expect Japanese people to be Japanese people and not have their own like foibles or you know,
I'd never really
or
thought about that,
faults.
to be honest. I mean,
Thing is,
I think
because
that
you're not on
makes sense.
Facebook anymore. You see, you
Yeah.
don't go, you don't spend much time on group social media. But there's a few Facebook like groups like Life in Japan and you know Wonders of Japan and like you know Tokyo Days or whatever they're called. But you know you'll see people with like stupid opinions all day long.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
the problem is that I think one of the reasons, I mean, obviously, if you're not using those social media so much, you do miss a degree of it. But I
lucky
think,
people.
yeah, I think the thing is, though, is that I think you start to see basically the same messages repeat so much that you realise there's nothing new to be gained from it. They have the same different situations, they apply the same weak logic that you're describing there. I mean, one of the things that really just sort of occurs to me, and this is maybe seeing it more from the other side, although with a similar result, is that a lot of the Japanese people I speak to, I ask them about, you know, I mean, for example, I have people say, oh, well, the area of Tokyo I live in, Kinshicho, it's like, oh, that's the most dangerous area, that's full of gangs and stuff. Now, there's two sides to that. First of all, is that the most dangerous part of Tokyo is an absolute cakewalk compared to even a mild part of London. But then there is another side, which I do fully accept, because I was speaking to a female Japanese friend who she was like, yeah, I wouldn't walk through there because I'm female and Japanese. I was like, yeah, I get that. For example, like, so gangs, they're not going to approach a white person because someone who's clearly foreign. It's like, you know, look, if anything happens between us and a foreign person, that's more of a, that can become like an incident where the police are going to be more bothered because there's a foreigner involved, it gets in the news, etc. And also being a guy. So I understand for a Japanese woman it's more concerning. I still, however, think, from what you read, most crime in Japan happens between people who know each other, or if it's something like, you know, people always talk about gangs and things. The gangs are not dealing with the domestic public. Mostly they're dealing with each other, or people who are in their establishments. It's harder to
intimidate. Well, it's harder to intimidate someone if they don't speak your language. You can't go, "Hey, buddy, give me your wallet" in Japanese to someone who's not Japanese. They're
hold
like,
up the katakana sign and see if James works it out within a minute.
They were like, "Hey, you, old man, give me your wallet or I'll hit you." And they're just like, "Hi, nice day, isn't it?"
Photo?
Yeah.
Here, selfie.
Shashin ga ii desu ka? Selfie desu ka? Oh, exactly. So I did that in France. We were in Lille, and there's this.
Lille! I love Lille.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few like destitutes in Lille.
Yes.
But this one. So we were walking down this one street trying to go to a video game shop, and this guy was trying to like do that. He was trying to like square up to me. I was just like, "Hi." I was like, "No, mate, I understand," and then just kept on walking.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much what happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Just one moment. I need to go.
Yeah,
I need to go to the toilet, so I'm gonna let James tell some stories while I go to the toilet. I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. Well. All right. So yeah, if you ever want to go to France and you're in the UK, it's quite easy to go to Lille, for instance. And the good thing about Lille is they've got a few second-hand video game shops. And the good thing about some games is that they're you can change the language back to English, and it's the same. What is it? Same region. Yeah, you get the PAL region. So I'm from the UK. I'm from Southeast England, and it's quite easy usually without restrictions to get on the Eurostar and go to France, go to Lille, and I'll buy some video games that weren't published in the UK, but they were published in English, and I'll bring them home. And sometimes they're anime games, like Inazuma 11, you know, the football game, and I'll buy that for the Wii. for about €5, and I'll sell that back here for about 18 quid. And yeah, that's good. You know, did it a few times, and that's your Eurostar paid for.
Do you know what?
But
I leave for
anyway,
5 seconds and I come back and it's like, sold it
uh,
back here for 18 quid. And it's like, straight on the
yeah,
business.
going back to like my food and drink pleasures that I do as well. In France, you know those little plastic cups you get of the Starbucks drinks, right? Well, in France, they always do a hazelnut one, like a hazelnut Starbucks chilled latte in the convenience stores, and I really recommend them. They're really good. Yeah.
Oh, like the little
So,
convenient
yeah.
cup ones.
Yeah, so English people go to France, yeah, and go to a convenience store and get
Although
yourself the little
you need
hazelnut one.
you need a passport to go to France now, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, also
Ah,
Combini cups. Combini cups, that's right, because I saw a Combini cup drink that I want Howard to get for me,
yes.
and we'll see if we can get it. It's a baked cheese tart in a drink. Now, the last one of these that Howard got for me was it press butter sand?
Yes.
And if you have a look at my channel, then I'll do the video for that soonish, because I haven't had it yet. Are they still available? Do you still see the press butter sand drink?
Well, they've always been available as far as I know, so I should
I've
be able
never
to get it
seen
easily.
them before, and I was really interested to try it. So
Then again, we kind of figured that I might have been getting it confused with something else previously that looked similar.
yeah.
But
But the one I want next is this one, which is the as you can see,
Yes.
the bake cheese.
bring it
There you
closer
go.
to the camera. Bring it closer to the camera so it. Like,
I'll move
floats
back,
out.
and
There
that'll
we
go.
go.
For, there it is. Bake cheesecake bake in a drink. I really want it. I don't think it's Family Mart exclusive, so I don't know where you'll find it. But I'm really hoping to find it. I'm guessing I've got stuff that still hasn't been shipped over yet, because I don't think I've got the creamy caramel.
No, you've got some stuff that hasn't been shipped over yet. The problem is that a lot of it's really, most of the stuff I've got for you at the moment is pretty heavy stuff like canned drinks, and I don't like to send them all together because it
Right.
means that it's a box from. So I want to split the cans I have into two, and they've got really long expiry dates. Split them into
That's
two
fine.
separate things and put them with lighter items, so I can get 2 boxes out of it rather than one
Well,
tiny
Kit
box. that
Kat
weighs
bags
too
are
much.
light.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
Kit
thinking.
Kat bags are light, and
But there hasn't
I'm
been-
doing quite well on selling Kit Kats in the shop,
There
so
hasn't been
I could
many
do with more.
interesting Kit Kats recently, but I might pop down to one of the shops in Ameoko that we use. So for anyone who's wondering,
Yeah.
if you know Ameoko in Ueno, it's kind of a marketing and izakaya area. It's very much like you go on the streets, you have like street markets and things all week long. And they have some shops there that do some really interesting like sweets and Kit Kats and all kind of, basically if you want it you can find it, everything from like running shoes and trainers all the way through to like sweets. If it's something that you'd buy in a market, they've got it. So that's where I'm going to be going for you to try and pick them up
Yeah.
on this journey.
There's the I think there was the pistachio ones, which I haven't had yet, and then there's the peach ones that are coming out soon.
I haven't seen any
And
pistachios.
whatever, you know, because I'm down to one bag of cheesecake ones,
Oh really?
and
Oh,
they can do well, you know. So I've got loads of footfall now in the shop, so you know,
I'll grab a lot
people
more.
want to see these things.
I'll grab a lot
Yeah.
more then in that case. Well, look, I just wanted
Cool.
to sort of extend something as well to everyone about the channel, just to say, well, I meant to cover this earlier, but I didn't cover it, just as a quick change of topic. So in the last week, we didn't post any videos, which made the live chat thing all the more galling today. But that's, frankly, that's just come down to there was a few things came up. Nothing too dramatic for anyone who's wondering in the Discord. It's nothing serious, just a few things came up that I had to deal with. This week got quite heavy, just with having to run around doing things. But it's all okay now. So I'm hoping that next week will be a bit of a return to form. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for the patience there. There are a few videos that were supposed to come out last week that are basically just going to come out next week anyway. And a big thank you as well. I mean, we've had so many people help really big time. Obviously, CMC has always been there. Harry's given some really great contributions. A big thank you to Trick, who basically has helped pay for today with a really kind contribution. So a big thank you to all, and to everyone on the Discord as well, and to especially everyone on the Patreon. So yeah, just wanted to extend a quick thank you to everyone. Sorry about the slow week. We are on it. If you're this far into this video, then I know that you're a loyal follower, or you just tuned in. But I'm starting to think, because we're coming up to an hour and a half, shall we wrap this one up for today, and then we can always pick up on our own? You mentioned you've got some stuff you're doing next
Yeah.
week. You're going to be busy next weekend, are you?
There's a few different events coming up. I just did the opening weekend for Batman. Luckily, I didn't have to do it today. Usually, I do the Batman, or as they
Yes.
call him in Up North, to Batman.
To Batman. Or here, Bato Man. Bato Man. Bato Man.
Bato Man, yeah. Bato Man. That's right. Shrove Tuesday, Bato Man. Yeah, okay. Pancake Batter Man. So yeah, well, if you see any interesting merchandise for that, that'd be interesting. That'd be cool.
I'll
So
get
you
you like
got
the movie posters and all that you can get free from the cinema.
Oh yeah. So there's that. So normally I'd trade on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I didn't do good trade when Spider-Man came out on the Sunday. I was just sitting there in the lobby at the cinema on my own, and I thought, you know what? If I don't make money during Spider-Man, I won't make money during any other film. So I've stopped doing Sundays at the cinema, hence being free to do this today. So
Thanks,
last
Spider-Man.
week I traded at London Comic Con. So last week I traded at London Comic Con, and then I don't think I've got much else coming up apart from Daz's wedding. That's the first weekend of April. Yeah.
Wow. There you go. So.
Yeah. So So hopefully, any free time I've got, if I've got like more evenings and time to do stuff, that means I can edit more of my videos and get those out. That's the thing.
Well,
yeah, so I'm trying to get back into editing and posting. I'm not really trying to hold on to videos anymore. Once they're edited and ready to go out, I try to post them up.
Yeah.
So
just sort of enjoy
so,
it.
Yeah.
For what
so
it
as
is.
you saw, I had a video which I filmed almost a year and a half ago. Was it in June 2020? I think, and that was the London.
Yes, I saw that
Shake
one.
Shack video.
That was fun.
And I was looking so forward. Oh, you have to go again. You went into Minecraft mode there.
Oh, there you go. You come back.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. You were looking so
yeah,
forward.
You like that one, huh? You're gone.
Hello.
So just when I'm going to get some positive, just before I get some positive enforcement, you disappear. Right. So, yeah. So you had a positive review of my Shake Shack video, which people can go onto my channel and watch.
Yeah, that drink was pretty crazy looking.
It did. I'm hoping I can do some more. There's a new item which comes out this week, which I want to go and review straight away, and that is the Burger King Katsu Curry Beef Burger.
Ooh. That
Yeah.
sounds kind
They're also doing
I
a
don't know if
chicken.
that's good or bad, but it sounds worth trying.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, they're also doing because usually they do chicken, but they've got a chicken one, but they've also got a beef burger, Katsu Curry burger at Burger King this week. So I'll try and get that out while it's still out, rather than waiting a year and a half like with the Shake Shack one. Yeah. So yeah, I was so looking forward to getting that video edited and actually posting it. So I was really pleased when I did, especially when I managed to edit in a couple of jokes, like the little anime face as the straw went in.
Yeah, I like that as well. I forgot that. That was good.
And syncing myself up to the Simpsons clip as well, and editing the drink so that it actually had the froth on top. So yeah, I was really pleased with how that went. Yeah, I was really happy with that video. Because they always look a bit better when someone else is filming for me. So I had a good distance from myself from the camera, because and then Lindsay was able to film for me and follow me with the camera.
More in frame as well.
That always looks better. Yeah.
So
yeah, I was pretty pleased with it.
I think there's, as I keep on saying, there's some good stuff on the channel, and I really recommend back a binge if anyone's. If you're not already on there, get on there. It's just whether you like Japanese stuff, whether you just want to see James talk more, because you guys only get to see him very occasionally on here. So please do. It is actually now coming very quickly towards 3:30 a.m. here. So, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to wrap this one up, and also because it's going to take me, considering how the internet is, uploading an hour and a half of this video is going to take me a while, and then I've got to set the premiere. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to get it uploaded so that everyone can enjoy it. And I hope that, obviously I don't want to cut off James, but I hope me and James can do this again sometime soon. What I'm going to do though, James will stay with me after this video's ended, but because we're going to wrap this up now, I'm going to switch to the bog roll. And James, dear James, tell me what you think about the bog roll. Oh wait, I need to take that sign off the screen.
It's bogtastic.
It's bogtastic.
It's bogtastic. It's just it's clean. It's fresh. It's 3-ply. It's a comfortable feeling.
Some
like
toilet
a-
rolls
like a
are bog
fox in a-
standard, but this one is not bog standard. This is
No,
bogtastic.
it's not. It's bog deluxe. It's like a fox walking through a dark car park. Serene and unusual, but at the same time familiar. It's
Mysterious and yet comforting.
mysterious and exciting, yet comforting and soft.
Soft on your cheeks. All right, James, big thank you. I will see you very soon. And for everyone out there watching, for now, ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao, James. Ciao, ciao. They can't see you, they can only hear you. Bye.
That's great.